So as you guys saw right there, that was the official teaser video for Cold War Zombies, and it was fast, but there are some things we could gather from that, which something I want to break down. But before we do that, I want to talk about the most important thing that we got today, and that is actually the date for when we're going to get the actual reveal for this Zombies mode. And more than just a date, we have an exact time and even place, so all this is looking pretty cool. But what the date is this Wednesday or September 30th, and it's going to happen at 10 a.m. Pacific and 12 p.m. Eastern, of course 11 a.m. my time, and then just adjust that for all your other times around the world. But that's going to be exactly when this reveal is going to be taking place. But people were kind of curious where this reveal is going to be taking place. Like, some people were speculating it's going to be in Warzone, since we are seeing some things in Warzone, and Season 6 is literally starting tonight from when I'm recording this video. So, you know, people are kind of suspecting that. But I don't think it's going to be in Warzone. I mean, it could, but by the fact that, and not only on the Ponte Spawn website, but also in the tweets, that when they're talking about this time for the reveal, they're linking the Call of Duty YouTube channel and not saying Warzone or something like that, or live event or anything like that. It seems very likely to me that it's just going to be a YouTube video up on YouTube. Maybe a live stream. I don't think so. I think they're just going to upload the trailer, and that's what's going to happen. So, you know, that's that, and I'm pretty excited because I actually want to see more about this. But I need to come back to that tweet, because that tweet is also very interesting. But before that, I kind of want to break down what we can from this teaser video, and there's a couple of things I want to point out. And the first thing and most important thing is that we see one of the soldiers that are being attacked by the zombies using a PPSH, and I really like that, because I don't think we're going to get a PPSH in the normal, I guess, multiplayer and campaign of Cold War, which would mean that we're going back to how it was in Black Ops 2, where zombies had unique guns. Like, they had guns to fit the era, rather than just reusing them from multiplayer or campaign, which of course most of the guns are going to be reused like that, but especially when we have crossover at the same time. But on top of that, we're going to have zombie unique guns, like I said we did in Black Ops 2 Zombies, where we had the Uzi, the RMP5, the Tommy gun, and AK-74. I just like to see stuff like that. It's just something I like to see. So I'm glad we're going to seem to continue something like that, unless the PPSH is just going to be a normal multiplayer and campaign. And what I'm saying here is completely useless, but either way, it's something to take note of. But another thing to take note of is the uniforms that both the soldiers are wearing and the zombies are wearing. And to me, I can't find exact, one-to-ones, but I mean, from what I've seen, the people fighting seem most likely that they are Soviets. They look like Soviet uniforms, things that I've shown in the past that look like this, and I just think these are Soviets. Of course, what really gives it away is that they're using PPSH, and obviously the Soviets are going to be using a Soviet weapon. Makes sense. But so that's cool, that makes sense. But the other thing that seems kind of interesting are the uniforms that the zombies are wearing, because the uniform the zombies are wearing, they are not Soviet. In fact, I don't think that they're anything but, let's use a safe word here, I guess, German uniforms from World War II. And yeah, that's what it looks like to me, at least. And this gets me really interested in what's going on here, because what this is giving me vibes of, at the very least, is that this work that was done here that caused the zombies and everything was originally done by the Germans during World War II, but it was left on Earth and just underground, and or wherever the heck it was locked up for all this time until the Soviets went and dug it back up. And that's something I'm really interested in, and I think that would be a really cool premise for it, and it gets me really excited for what this story is going to have to offer, and it looks really cool. But regardless, the last thing I want to mention about this teaser image is that we do see these old-fashioned computer things, and these are most definitely not World War II era computers, because I don't think there were computers back then, and they look much more like the Cold War computers used by both the Soviets and Americans. And what I'm thinking is going on here is that, of course, they redug up the Germans' work from World War II, and then they kind of investigated it themselves, of course, bringing their own equipment, of course, bringing those computers, or that's what at least I'm assuming is going on. I don't think that those were there from World War II or something like that. Either way, it's looking really interesting, and I can't wait to see more. But that's not the only thing I want to talk about. The other thing I want to talk about is the cover art that was revealed, because this cover art actually has a couple hidden Easter eggs, and with it, there was a gift to reveal this cover art, but before it actually showed the cover art, it actually gave us this image on screen right here. And there's a couple things to point out here, and first thing I want to point out, and just generally what you're going to see here, are like a sickle and hammer, obviously the Soviets and communism, all that stuff. But then on top of that, you see what looks like a bunch of Soviet propaganda that you'd see normally in these places, so you know that's that. But what I actually want to point out is at the bottom right, you see a rocket, and you know, that's interesting because it seems like this idea of rockets and the space race is seemingly going to have its way in zombies, like it's going to have some sort of influence, whatever it may be. And it's furthered by the fact that we see a cosmonaut in a cosmonaut suit. Of course, this one's a little bit harder to see. I don't know if you guys can see, like, really make it out, because this was taken from a GIF, and GIFs aren't the greatest quality compared to video, but you can see a cosmonaut suit right there. So that's another thing to keep an eye on, is just that this influence from the space race that's maybe having over zombies. The last thing from this is that we see, and this one probably isn't nothing that we can make too much out of, but you do see an outline of somebody looking away, so you know that's that. But either way, that's really about it. But finally, the last thing we need to talk about is the cover art itself, because this cover art actually shows us a couple things, and obviously looks really, really cool. I mean, not going to argue with that, but the two things we need to point out are the things in red again. And this one is just really cool, but we just gotta look at it. This has already been confirmed in zombies. We saw this in the past, but of course, if you look at the top left, right in that red area, we do see the Juggernog symbol, which is really cool. I mean, we already knew Juggernog was returning because of the teaser video that we got at the end of the multiplayer trailer, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, I just think like Treyarch's really trying to push this idea. Yo, we got rid of that garbage perk system. We're bringing back Jug. Don't worry about it. Like, they're really stressing it here. Like, if they've shown it twice in a teaser, I think it's going to be kind of, you know, they're just really kind of trying to push it here. But either way, I thought that was very epic of them to let us doubly know that Juggernog is returning. But the final thing I want to point out is that we see an Omega symbol in the red area again. And I say again because a couple days ago we had a map, and this was a part of the zombie teaser too, and we saw this exact same, well, I mean, this exact same, I mean, there's only Omega symbols, but you know, either way, we see the Omega symbol again. So maybe this is going to have some relation to a new group in this story, whether they be good guys, bad guys, or maybe they were the Germans from all the way back. I'm not entirely sure, but it is a thing that's popped up twice now, so I think it is worth pointing out and keeping your eye on. Not too sure if there's anything I could make out of it at this point, but at least we do know that it keeps popping up, so it's probably going to be important in this story. But this leaves us with the final thing I want to talk about, and it's on the tweet where Treyarch revealed the, I guess, cover art for the zombies mode. And I don't know, let's look at it together. So as you guys can see, this tweet reads, "A new zombie story begins." Now, of course, it continues to tell you, watch the official reveal at 10 a.m. Pacific, Wednesday, September 30th, and of course, linking the Call of Duty YouTube channel, which is something we already talked about. But the first part is interesting because it's saying a new zombie story begins. Now, we could easily take this at two different ways. Like, we could say it's a new story, and that's what it is. And I mean, most people, if they're saying it's a new story, we're probably just going to believe them, and it's a new story. But a couple things got me interested if they're saying it's a new story, and if they mean a new story that it's separate from Ether, because what I have been, I guess, feeling from what we've seen so far is that this is going to be pretty much a new story, but with, I guess, a very small connection to Ether. This could be like a very strong reboot of Ether, which is something we saw happen at the end of Talk the Totem. Like, the whole universe got rebooted. I mean, so it fit perfectly into that this is a brand new story with brand new characters. but it's going to have the smallest connection to Ether, especially when we see things like Juggernaut returning with the exact same logo. I mean, to me, it seems like that's going to mean something, and that we are going to have some small connection to Ether. I'm not even asking for a big connection. I feel like just having the smallest connection to Ether is a good thing for the story, because it won't be able to like really hold the future of the story going forward down, but it'll still have that connection for people who are Ether only boys. They will also give this a chance, knowing that, you know, they say it's Ether even though really it's not Ether. So you know, that's what I think, and that's what I'm thinking they're meaning here. I mean, maybe it's going to have no connections to Ether at all, and I'm fine with that too, because it seems like they're starting in a really good place. But either way, it is something to keep your eye on. Now, that's pretty much it that we're going to talk about. I wanted to talk about all the story stuff, but I can't access the websites. I don't know why. When I go to Pontic Spawn and I try to get these images, or if I try to get the audio, I just can't access these websites. It says not found no matter what I do, and I can't figure it out. So unfortunately, I can't even get into this storyline, or our very first bits and pieces of this storyline, which is incredibly annoying to me. But either way, guys, I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about this. You guys excited by what you're seeing? You liking it? You hating it? What are your general thoughts? What do you think the story means? Like, what do they mean by new story? Is Ether going to have any influence at all, or is it going to have absolutely no? Like, I'd love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down in the comment section. Also, down in the comment section, also leave every single one of your predictions for what we're going to be seeing in this zombies reveal on Wednesday. Do you think we're going to be seeing more story, more gameplay, new maps, or how many maps? Just anything like that. I'd love to hear your predictions down in the comments. But anyways, that's about it for me. If you guys did enjoy this video, you guys are hyped for Cold War zombies, then definitely do all that normal YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff. But I'm going to go, and I'll catch you guys in the next zombies video.